guy, yeah, your bitch, shit like that. 30 rounds in the clip, you won't fight back. I got shooters in the window when this ain't a fucking movie. I'ma only rescue ones where your sight's at.
Welcome, fellow agents. Today we're gonna take a look at my LMG build, which I'm currently running most of the time. It's really fun, and there's 3 main weapons that I switch out, and I included footage of all 3 weapons. And now I'm gonna show you my build. So, first off, the specialization. I'm using the gunner specialization as I do most of the time. It has 3 main things going for this build. It's for 5 seconds you gain rate of fire after a kill. It gives you 10% armor on kill, and every third reload is faster, which is really good with the LMGs. So the 3 weapons I was talking about are 1, the G5 with Frenzy, which gives you 3% rate of fire and 3% weapon damage for 5 seconds for every 10 bullets in the magazine capacity. So I'm going for a 100 bullet mag, which then gives me 30% rate of fire and 30% weapon damage for 5 seconds after reloading from empty, which is important. You can go for higher mags with like 200 or 250 bullets in the magazine, which give you even more damage and rate of fire. What I don't like about those huge mags is that it takes a long time to get the buff, but once you get them rolling, they're really strong. So it's a totally viable option. I like the 100 mag because you get the buff faster, and it remains almost through the entire magazine. But you can change it as you want, of course. So the second gun is the Negev with Fast Hands, which gives you 4% reload speed bonus for every critical hit, up to a stack of 40. So the reload time with this gun is basically non-existent. It's like being John Rambo. You can lay down suppressive fire and basically shoot until you don't have any more ammo. The third gun, of course, is the Pestilence, which is probably the best LMG in the game and one of the best exotics in general. Plague of the Outcasts is such a nice debuff and such a nice talent. The debuff spreads within the enemies, and yeah, they just melt if they have the full debuff. Yeah, those are the 3 weapons that I'm currently using with this build. You can use different weapons, of course. Try and see what you like for your own playstyle. Let's look at the gear pieces. For the mask, I'm using a Seska mask for a 10% critical hit chance. The secondary attributes on all gear pieces are crit hit chance and crit hit damage, of course, because this is a crit build. And I'm also using the Memento backpack. Again, as you see in most of my builds, it's my favorite gear piece in the game because the armor regen, the extra weapon damage, and the skill efficiency, it's just so good. If you don't have it or don't like the Memento or you don't want to use it in every other build, of course you can use different backpacks, and there's lots of talents you can use, and you can adjust into your playstyle. For the gloves, of course, when you're using a LMG, you're using the Contractor's gloves with weapon damage and 8% multiplicative damage to armor and crit chance. For the knee pads, I'm using Walker and Harris knee pads, weapon damage, crit chance, of course. I'm not using the Fox's prayers. I have a build with them and I tested it. They're, of course, a strong damage gear piece, but when you're using an LMG, most of the time you're suppressing the enemies and then they're in cover, and then you don't get the bonus from the foxes. So yeah, my testing showed me that I run better with Walker and Harris for the 5% weapon damage. It's just more consistent. Then for the holster, I'm using a improvised holster for the extra crit damage. You could use another Walker and Harris piece for the damage to armor, or also a Bellstone holster, for example, for the extra armor regen. You can choose whatever you like. I like the extra crit damage, and yeah, the holster is not not so bad for me, so I chose this one. For the chest, I'm using a Grupo Sombra chest for the 15% critical hit damage, weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, of course, crit damage mod. And as the chest talent, I'm using Obliterate, which gives you 25% weapon damage for 5 seconds. It's really good. Still one of the best chest talents in the game in TU12. Yeah, let's look at the skills. I'm using the striker drone. It distracts the enemies, so they're shooting my drone and not me. It also dishes a little damage, which is nice. And of course the Reviver Hive for giving me another chance if I fail. So let's look at the stats real quick. Both my guns are sitting at 58.3% crit hit chance. The MG5 is at 152 crit damage, and the Negev is at 167 crit damage. The other stats don't matter that much. Alright, that's my LMG build. Try it and adjust it to your own playstyle. And if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe. And yeah guys, stay safe. See you next time.
I'm a guy, yeah, your bitch, and shit like that. 30 rounds in the clip, you won't fight back. I got shooters in the window when this ain't a fucking movie. I'ma only ask you once where your sights at. I'm a guy, yeah, your bitch.